My name is Robert Christopher Wayne Weathers. I live at 3102 Central Hill Road, Ecru, Mississippi, 38841. I am under attack. People are driving parasites through me from a remote location. Remote control worms. I can also hear their voices. They're very hostile and demeaning. They're negative. They keep threatening me and my family. They're premeditating our deaths. So this is what I have observed. These people appear to be Scientologists. There is more space in the universe than humans can see. There is an inverse, an area inside of the particle itself that we are made of. And there are 11 dimensions. We have biology in this other place. They call it the inverse, or inverse. We utilize this biology to have an afterlife. When we die, we live on in this extra dimensional biology. Scientology is the practice of utilizing this extra dimensional biology before we die. They remove it from themselves and turn it into an upper dimensional vehicle they can drive around. This technology that they use allows them to do several things. First, it allows them to assimilate themselves into a hive mind. They interface technology or this devices with their brain tissue and their nervous system. This links them to a computer system, which allows them to communicate with each other and to interact with each other in a digital landscape. This technology also allows them to create surrogates. It allows them to drive other organisms. They can drive humans, animals, insects, worms. And this technology artificially stimulates neural tissue in our central nervous system. And it elevates neurochemistry. So it has a narcotic-like effect. A large percentage of the people practicing Scientology have become criminal. They do things like kidnapping, exploitation, human trafficking, home invasion, invasion of privacy, stalking, biological theft, rape, torture, murder, identity theft, breaking and entering, weapons of mass destruction, biological warfare, attacking Americans on American soil. This started for me 13 years ago. I was a political activist on Facebook. I'm also an author. I write a lot of literature. I had a large following. People became attracted to my psychology, my ability to think, articulate. They decided to practice Scientology on me because it gives them the ability to read my mind, to invade my mind space. The people responsible for installing the phones soon started selling seats to my phone service. They allowed other Scientologists to invade my mind space. They found my intelligence attractive. Soon they started stealing my ideas, my literary works. I wrote Crazy Bird comics, Crazy Bird, Thunder Beings, Buffalo Bob. I wrote the Environment Creation Agency. I wrote Divine Currency, Alien Bob, Bug Bob, and several others. Shortly after assimilation, I became sick. I could feel foreign objects inside of my head, my ear, my neck, my torso. I started going to the hospital, get scans done. They couldn't see anything. The whole side of my face swelled up, got deformed. The communication grew worse and worse. These people are hostile. They're very mean. They like to take over people's lives. And the whole time they kept threatening me with death or incarceration. Communication grew worse and worse. I had to move around to try to get away from these people. They did this to me and my family, my coworkers, my neighbors, my community. Anybody affiliated with me in any way got afflicted by these people. Eventually, they installed more technology. I started to see things, hear things. Then they started removing biology. They became so attractive to me creating, writing literature, and influencing that they wanted to utilize my biology for their own. They wanted to do it for themselves. They started removing neurological tissue for use in transplants and for surrogate making purposes. They literally cut the brains out of my head on the inverse side and stuck it in their own heads. Scientology is literally the removal of biology from organisms and putting it in outer space. So they remove biology from one or more organisms to create a vehicle that a Scientologist can drive from outer space. It is all they do for a living. Remove body parts and stick wires and stuff inside of it and sensors and digital technology. They are conditioned to do this. So this conditioning, on top of their criminal activity and their elevated neurochemistry, and I suspect some of them are abusing substances, they have developed an extremely negative psychology. They are psychotic and delusional, very violent people. They are jealous, petty. They have addictive behaviors. They're machoistic. They like to commit criminal acts against people. I'm driving to work. Oh, stop, stop, stop. Get away from me. Oh, they have contaminated my food and water supply with parasites for the last 13 years. I have trailing worms, bagworms, A-worms, kingfishers, some jelly-like worms, probably several other species. Their conditioning has led to extremely violent behavior in these people. Yes, it's a money-making scheme and a power grab. The conditioning that these people have leads them to believe they can steal biology from a smart person, influencer, and gain that ability for themselves. These people take surrogates at random, where they pick people they are attracted to or have influence, authority, or power. These Scientologists belong to institutions like media companies, marketing companies, social media, internet companies like Google, Microsoft, tech companies, big businesses, and the government, like politicians, government agencies like the CIA, the FBI, the military. They forced assimilation upon me. They wanted to control me and somehow harness my ability to influence and to articulate, to create. People like Bill Gates and Devin Singe and entertainment professionals and other people like them, they see value in writing literature. They enjoy it. They wanted to harness this ability or witness it. It's the only thing that's kept me alive. It's why y'all kidnapped me. So these people are, if you're not practicing Scientology at the moment, you're getting practiced on. There is an entanglement property between our third dimension and our inverse. It is the same particle in which we consist of. Our third dimensional is the outer layer of the particles. The inverse is the inside of it. So they remove the inside from our third dimension, the outer layer, we are still entangled to it. It's like it never leaves us. Whatever this goes through, our third dimension still experiences it. There's an entanglement property. And it's more like a displacement. I call it displacement theory of spatial relations. Say I stick something in my third dimension, it shows up in my inverse, no matter how far away it is from me. Say I drink a glass of water in my third dimension, water flows through my inverse. Well, these people are removing brain tissue from the population. They put it in a little box and they stick it in a storage system and they run wires through it. They hook it up to a computer system. Most people are unaware that it's happening. They can isolate neurons and thought patterns and memories and stimulate this neural tissue. They can stimulate thought patterns, desires. They can stimulate emotional states. Part of their hive mind technology. So for me, this started out as forced assimilation. They forced me to practice Scientology in an attempt to control me. It turned into intellectual property theft, exploitation. Several murder attempts were made on my life. It's turned into biological theft. It's turned into a snuff film. I'm getting tortured constantly. They don't like me to feel pleasure in any way. They don't like my biology to function properly. So they attack my nervous system, my neural tissue, my sexual organs. They keep me in discomfort. And they are trying to send me to hell. They're trying to make me suffer in the afterlife. So we are still connected to our inverse, no matter how far away it is from us. Some of my inverse material is being tortured and held up in a way in which I'll suffer in the afterlife. They're doing the same thing to my family and my animals. They have murdered two family members since in the last 3 years. My family members get sick, go to the hospital, and die just like that. It's always from organ failure. I don't want to see you. These people have God complexes. Yes, I see things. They have installed bones in my neural tissue, several of them. They harass me constantly. They say the most evil things to me, saying they're going to steal my intellectual property. They keep giving me death threats. They keep assaulting me and attempting to send me to hell. They do the same thing to my family. They won't leave. They continuously put their hands on my body parts constantly. They contaminate my food and water sources with poisons, chemicals, and worms, upper dimensional worms. They said the local police are involved. They wouldn't let me sleep last night. I slept for a little while. They interfere with my sleep every night. It's gotten a little better since I've been making these videos and telling people what is happening. They done something to the nerves in my neck. That's going to do something. I'm going to get sick, have great pain, and die. Please get away from my family and my animals. As soon as I got assimilated, people started attacking me. People in my environment were acting strange. My coworkers and family members started hurting me, getting me in situations in which catastrophe happened. And it's strange because it was pivotal moments in my life. Like I bought a new car, and I would sit down at my breaks at work, looking for a home, a place to rent or buy, so I can get out of my parents' house. They didn't let that happen. Every time that I was achieving a goal or getting better in life, they would do something to hurt me badly. An illness or an accident, something bad would happen. I don't want to see you either. Get away from me. They forced me to watch them do this to me. Pettiness, jealousy, evilness, torture, rape, murder. smoking tobacco. I'm part Native American and part Caucasian. Well, that's why. Attraction started. But here's the thing. Our inverse transcends time. They see time as it truly is, a simultaneous event. Our third dimension see time as linear. We see the days passing one after another after another. Our inverse side sees time as simultaneous as it truly is. The past, the present, and the future happening at the same time. So the beginning of the universe and the end of the universe happen simultaneously. So these people are making my dad a surrogate as I'm or right before I'm born at this very moment, just to name me Christopher, so they can create a Christian martyrdom story out of their torturing me today, out of what they have done to me. They are there at this very moment, naming me Christopher. My father is a surrogate. He has been extremely abusive to me and my family members. He has conflict with everybody he encounters. He can't walk. He can't drive. He can barely see. Accident prone. Breaks everything he touches. He's always yelling. Something is wrong with his brain. He doesn't understand reality. He's a surrogate. He has a big skull and bones tattoo. Christopher is not supposed to be my name. I'm supposed to be Robert Wayne Weathers. My dad tried to name me Christopher and my mother objected. There was conflict. I wound up with four names. Robert Christopher Wayne Weathers. Christopher is not supposed to be in my name. Well, this started 13 years ago. Boy, I'm responsible for your genetics. You can't do this to people. You can't kidnap people, assault people. He ain't. They don't. They won't even talk to us. So the narrative is they're going to torture me to death, steal my intellectual property, use it to save the planet, somehow absolve themselves from their sins in doing so. I was doing this from an early age, trying to fix the environment, trying to save the world, help be, help people and help life on this planet become their best selves. It's in my blood. It's in my DNA. I see how the environment affects the life found within that environment. I want life on this planet to grow and develop into its optimal potential, to its best selves. I've always done this. And this is what attracted them to me on Facebook. I was doing this on Facebook. I inspired a lot of people, gave people ideas. My ancestors called it helping people find the red road, their true paths in life. These are all white people doing this. This society has created some of the worst psychology and worst genetic expression ever seen on this planet. It is the worst. America's population are horrible people. They are trained to attack each other. We have to do something called climbing the ladder in our careers and in employment. It is a personal gain for another person to fall, to fail, because it opens up a niche for us to fulfill. When they fall off the ladder, we can climb higher. When they lose money, there's more money for us to gain. Money, greed. Our ancestors are responsible for our food source. They turned grasses and inedible berries into corn and tomatoes, potatoes, beans. All the vegetables that we eat came from natives and ancestral people. Even our meat supply. Modern societies have quit co-evolving with the plants and animals on this planet. We just halted. We don't do it anymore. So we are stuck with an ancient food source. This is supposed to be a continuous behavior in the human condition. We're supposed to continuously evolve with the plants and animals that we inhabit this earth with. They're supposed to become better. We're supposed to have more foods, more vegetables, more meats, and it's supposed to be of higher quality. We're supposed to create good environments that create good plants and animals. In medicine, we're supposed to get medicine from a food source or from a plant or an animal. It has a better molecular profile than pharmaceuticals do. It helps us so much better. That's what they showed me. They're cutting off everybody's inverse and putting it in a little box. They think that's what heaven is. The human genome produces an 11-dimensional humanoid with horns on our head. We literally have a myelin sheath and a head covering. We can fly into outer space and survive the extremities there. When we die, we're supposed to do something they call a turning around event. We literally grab every particle we consist of, even the air in the ground, and they call it raising. We pull it into ourselves, into our core, and turn around and blast off into outer space. That is supposed to be the human afterlife. Scientology has taken our nunnakai off of us, chopped them to pieces, and stick them in a little box inside of a wall and run electricity through it. Link everyone to a computer system. They call that heaven. Ancient humans knew what our afterlife was. They erected temples, pyramids that paid homage to our afterlife and explained what it is. They knew we made Anunnakis. and lizard people and alien forms. It's written in stone. Then several thousand years ago, something happened. A whole bunch of false religions came onto the scene. They started conquering all the peoples on the planet and destroying our ancient knowledge. And we're left with religions that don't explain what we are. They don't explain the afterlife. It's a bunch of psychobabble bullshit. 'Cause I'm very sick. I am ate up with worms in all dimensions. I have third dimensional parasites. So does my family member. They don't even know this. It's a bunch of Scientologies that got off their bones since the 1960s. They don't know about ancient life on this planet. So our inverse comes with special abilities. We have the ability to see in all dimensions, down to the molecular level. In a healthy environment with a healthy biology, we can even do molecular transfer. We can move particles around with our mind, like magic. And we can interact with biologies on an intimate level. We can see them functioning. We can see energy flowing through our neural tissue and our central nervous system. We can see particles flowing through our biology. They can see this. Our Nunnakai can, our extra dimensionals. And we can interact with this with our biological functions. We can help our biologies grow and develop. We can even modify DNA on the fly. We can alter genetic makeup, DNA strands, to develop biological features on an individual, mostly on the upper dimensional side, on the invert side. Our third dimensionals are pretty static. They're supposed to help us develop and grow. That's what these abilities are supposed to be used for. Scientology is abusing these abilities. They're using the powers of heaven to practice Scientology, to create surrogates, and to hurt people. Scientology has created a conflict of interest never before seen on this planet. There are people among the living that are also among the dead with their special abilities. Scientologists are utilizing these special abilities and this technology to control people and for personal gain. And they are hurting a lot of people. Just the practice of Scientology alone is hurting people. You can't cut body parts off of humans. It causes dysfunction and sickness, and it screws up our afterlife. I know from personal experience, if you lose body parts, you get sick. If they do it enough, they have to give you life support. My biology is in a million pieces. Some of it has been utilized for transplant purposes. Some of it has been utilized for surrogate making purposes. And some of it is being tortured like a voodoo doll. Scientology has led to a bunch of Dr. Kevorkians ruling the world. Now they know what happened. Outer space transcends time. These people started getting off their bones and going back and changing things. The future beget the past. The future begets the past. They're doing this for personal gain. Modern humans are conditioned to do strange things, especially with religion and finances. They stimulate their reward system for strange reasons. Our reward system is supposed to help life develop. When you see a life form sick and you help it, you get a natural dopamine boost. When you create a good environment, it elevates your serotonin levels. When the life around you is better, it has a good effect on you. I just got a death threat. Someone claiming to be Obama. They think I'm going to stick around and let them do this to me. He says, well, then it's your pets and animals then. They have made sure that I have no way to go, no vehicle, and no money. They won't let me work. My last day of employment, I ran outside, very dizzy, falling down, calling the FBI, trying to explain to them what was happening to me. Somebody's using classified technology to assault me from a remote location. And the FBI is involved too. They practice Scientology too. This is all about psychological conditioning. It determines everything we do and how we function. People are retarding themselves. That's why everybody's so evil. We have never had proper experiences to develop our psychology and our biology like we're supposed to. Humans only exist because we were once part of ecosystems on this planet. We had to help life around us develop into its optimal potential for us to develop properly, for us to grow and evolve properly. If you have bad organisms in your environment, it has a bad effect on you. Life is a product of the environment which it is found in. Everything about this organism can be determined by the environmental variables of which it has had to deal with, which has had an effect on it. Its health, its behavior, its interaction with other organisms, its function. People's writing this down, just like they always have. Exploitation. I shouldn't have to do anything about the afterlife. That was never in my works of literature. I never have done it and I never will do it because I don't have the evidence to come to that conclusion. But I can fix the third dimension, and that encompasses everything. Yes, bad organisms have been going to heaven. Yes, that is my favorite environment. To sit outside and watch all of the plants and animals interact with each other and be healthy stimulates my sensory perception organs. It elevates my neurochemistry. To watch life around me in a good environment, to flourish, to watch life flourish, grow. These people are getting off on torture. Please stop driving my worms. It hurts. Someone's yelling, God bless America. Looks like I destroyed it. That's why I created the ECA. Money is causing most of the issues modern humans are facing. Bad psychology, habitat loss, bad genetic expression, bad health. Not even the richest people in the world are experiencing proper environments at the moment. Everything's dead and everybody's sick. Everybody has bad genetic expression, bad behavior. The ECA fixes this. It is a government agency designed to replace the Federal Reserve. It consists of cabinets pertaining to each aspect of our reality. There's a cabinet for medicine, a cabinet for housing, a cabinet for communication, a cabinet for agriculture, a cabinet for wildlife and fisheries, a cabinet for education, a cabinet for everything. These cabinets consist of highly trained professionals. They are highly trained in their field of study that pertains to the cabinet. Doctors, teachers, farmers, scientists. These people have to meet IQ and morality standards. No, they kidnapped the one who could. Kidnapping and exploitation. Yes, it started 13 years ago. Yes, they named me Christopher, but they didn't do anything. They made my father a surrogate, made sure he beat me. They're saying they own my intellectual property. They're trying to come up with any reason and any excuse they can. I've never been a surrogate. This hive mind technology is recent. They never cut my body parts off until recently. Yes, they implanted technology. I got to experience my biology being removed piece by piece. I know when it happened. There's something about being intelligent, having good psychology that helps you function even when you're sick. When I get brain damage, I kind of hold my head in a different way. I try to purposefully stimulate the damaged area, the afflicted area. It causes neuroplasticity. Our brains rewire themselves and grow new neurons or grow new neural connections to make up for what is lost. I learned how to write at an early age. It is a requirement for kids in grade school to read books and write short stories. It is something every school in the nation does at the moment. At least in this state, it does. That's where I learned, that's where my writing career started. I was 13 or 14 years old or younger. We read books, had to write short stories, and I excelled in that. I excelled in it. I got good grades on it. My teacher said I had a natural ability to do it, and I've continued to do it my whole life. I write a lot. I like science, educational information. I like educational videos. I like to read books, informational books. I study science, physics, astrology, or astronomy, whichever one. Biology, socialism or social studies, anthropology. I like studying the human condition, what people do for a living, how they behave in each culture, the things they do, how they procure, how they acquire food, how they prepare food, how they build their shelters, what they do on a daily basis. I think what's exploitation. This stupid fuck that has been torturing me and killing people. It's like, yoo-hoo, I did something good. He thinks exploiting me is his achievement.